All right. Hi guys. On Labor Day weekend in 2007, I did a very crazy thing. I sat down at my computer and I Googled international jobs. And the first thing that popped up was this link to an advertisement, teach English to preschool students in South Korea. And I was like, okay. So 3 weeks later, I was on the plane, naturally, flying to Seoul. A bit of a culture shock. It ended up being a wild, crazy, exciting year. The thing is, I loved the adventure. I was loving the food, I was loving the people, I loved kimchi, all of that was so great. But meanwhile, I kind of hated my job. The thing is, I'd never been a preschool teacher before, and I didn't really know what I was doing. And the thing is, kids are so cute. They're so cute, but they have so much snot, and they vomit, and it's disgusting. And that was kind of new to me. But on top of that, the school was a little bit disorganized, and there were just some issues. So it was a tough year, but I survived. So about 4 months into it, it's January, it's cold, and part of my job in this gig was that every morning I would get picked up by the school bus, kind of a small van. They would pick me up, and then I would go to each of the school bus stops, and I would get out of the van. I would look at the Korean mothers. I would smile, 안녕하세요. I would bow at them, and then I would help the kids in, and we would go to the next stop. So I'm doing that every day, every morning. And one day in January, I step out of the van, and both of my feet simultaneously hit an icy patch. And so I went from standing up to lying flat on my back in just a split second, and I look up, and there are the faces of several Korean mothers staring at me. They don't speak Korean. They don't speak English. I don't speak Korean, and they're in a panic. I think they're asking, like, is she dying? Like, what's the matter with her? I'm confused. But the bottom line is that all of my emotion from the last 4 months of this dichotomy of loving the culture but kind of hating my job and just feeling out of place and lonely and all of those things just hit me in that moment, and I start weeping, and I can't stop. And they help me up, and I get into the van. I'm kind of embarrassed. Again, this whole time, they're not speaking anything that I understand, and everyone's confused. So the van goes to the school. We drop the kids off. Somebody from the school comes running out, puts me in their car. They take me to the hospital. They do x-rays. They want to make sure I'm not going to die. It was like a backache, but whatever. I got out of work that day, so that was cool. But so they do all these x-rays. The doctor's like, okay, she's going to live. She's gonna live, but she needs to do some acupuncture, so it's Asia. I'm like, whatever, acupuncture, sounds good. So I'm in the hospital, and there's this woman who's she's the same age as me, and she was the sister of one of my students' moms, so I knew her face. And so she comes in, and here she works at the hospital, and she doesn't speak English, I don't speak Korean, but she's like, hey, you look really pitiful, I think is what she's thinking. And I'm like, hey, I feel kind of ridiculous. But we have this moment, and then I'm fine, I lived, obviously. So that weekend, I'm basically back to normal. And she comes to my apartment, she knocks on the door, and she's with a friend of hers, and she ends up, they spontaneously take me to have dinner, because they felt bad for me. I think actually the word got out that I was having a breakdown, and the school was concerned that I might buy a ticket and fly home that day, which I actually may have done that. So they take me out to dinner, and this begins the start of a really awesome, weird friendship. For the second half of my year, I'm with these two girls, and we're going to movies, we're going to have dinner, they're taking me into Seoul, but they don't speak English, and I don't speak Korean, so it's this entire friendship built on smiles and giggles and hugs and thumbs up, and it's really awesome. But But I sort of had this epiphany near the end of my time there where I realized, oh my gosh, like I didn't see this coming, but that week, that day when I was laying on the ice on the side of the road, feeling a bit awkward and weeping, that sort of was the best thing that could have happened to me in this year, because I went from this sort of struggle of hating, loving Korea, and not really knowing where to settle, to realizing that I loved these friends and I was going to leave a piece of my heart in that country forever. So there you go.